Sentinel Online. Now loading the GeekCast radio network of podcasts.
Supernatural. Welcome Brave Star. Maybe it was a Manglore.
It's Castle Grayskull.
Tune in next week for a much better episode. For now, though, courage.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mike TFG1Blanchard, and this is the ToyCast 1 year anniversary episode. June 10th, 2009 is when we launched ToyCast. So it's been a year. We've had 60 plus episodes. It's kind of funny. I mentioned in the episode, I'm just kind of recording this intro just to, give you guys a little intro here. Joining me will be Michael Wilson, Pia, General Techno, and the goddamn Proto Man. I want to thank everybody who has supported ToyCast and the rest of the GeekCast radio network shows. It's kind of funny that I never really thought ToyCast would reach a 1 year mark or even 60 episodes. As most everyone knows, the original plan was one episode per month, and that didn't really happen. We usually do one or two a week now. But anyway, hope everybody's enjoying the show, and without any further ado, happy 1 year anniversary to ToyCast. This is ToyCast. This is the ToyCast 1 year anniversary special episode. And yes, even though I said that there would be only episode 60 before the 2 month hiatus, I lied. I forgot the 1 year anniversary is coming up. I am TFG1Mike, and joining me is Michael Wilson. Hello, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. How are you?
I'm hanging in there.
Hanging in there?
Yeah, I'm feeling much better. The cold has passed, and the congestion has passed. I'm feeling better. My wife is not. She's got it now, and she's very unhappy.
Yes, well, I don't know what it is. Either it's the weather or it's me or whatever. I'm not sure, but for some strange reason, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, whenever I sneeze, something happens where I don't know if it's the snot going down my throat or something, but I sneeze so hard that it is plagued like right under your Adam's apple, like right there where your larynx is, like before you get to your chest, like right there, that spot right there, and it's like something stuck there. And I've been drinking stuff and trying everything I can think of, and it still hurts to swallow. I have no idea why. Thank God it didn't do anything to my voice.
Oddly enough, I didn't see the conversation going this way. So.
Well, it.
I didn't know. I'm kind of disturbed now. Thank you. I'm never gonna sleep tonight.
Well, it just means we can go on longer than 15 minutes. But, no, I don't know. It's one of those things where last couple days I've gone to sneeze, and it's like stuff is getting backed up and coming out all at the same time. I have no idea. And
you need to gargle with salt water.
I've tried that. It doesn't work.
Well, it's a work for me usually, but...
Anyways. So, yeah, this is... ToyCast's 1 year anniversary special. I will probably be having... This will probably be the first segment people here, and I'll probably have a whole bunch of other people on afterwards. But yeah, 1 year, 60 episodes. Well, actually, 60... It's close to 63 or 64, counting the special mini-sodes and special discussions. But yeah.
It's a good run.
Yeah, it's a good run. You say that like we're done.
Well, we're done until, what, August?
Yeah, August. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a summer vacation.
Yeah.
Figuring out how to spend it.
Yeah, exactly.
I need the lyrics up in front of me to really go on. Like maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Giving a monkey a shower.
Yeah, saying
had to be
something about somebody's brain. I found it over here,
Yeah, Frankenstein's brain. I found it.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, You recently, it's actually funny, this 1 year anniversary special is going to be coming out after ToyCast 60, and ToyCast 60, for those people who, unfortunately at the moment of this recording of this segment, ToyCast 60 is still giving iTunes people errors. I have no idea why. I've sent a complaint to iTunes. Hopefully they'll get back to me and let me know what the heck the deal is, but you can go over to geekcastradio.com, look in the ToyCast section, and you can listen to it online there. We talked about your 37th birthday. 37 in a row?
In a row. Right.
Yes. So what did you get for your what did you get for your birthday, sir?
Well, the thing that I was most happy about, my wife got me a Phineas and Ferb 2-pack. It doesn't actually have Phineas and Ferb in it, but it's the Phineas and Ferb toy line. They don't have a whole lot of toys, to be honest.
Well, they don't yet.
Yet. Well, they've got, I want to say, 3 different 2-packs, and 2 of them have Phineas and Ferb in it. One of them on a big skateboard, and one of them doing something else. And the third is Doofenschmirtz and Perry the Platypus.
Yes.
And I, for some reason, really wanted a Perry the Platypus on my desk, you know. And I was surprised that Chrissy got it for me because, you know, I'm only allowed to have one collection at a time.
Well, you know...
And this doesn't fit into the collection. But I heard she had it.
Oh, wait, stop, hold on.
All right.
I just figured it out because I was looking at these things on Toys R Us's website. They have a transforming Perry. That fits into your collection.
What's he transform into?
From Perry to Agent P.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. You can take. Well, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but
I'll look at it later.
All they had at Toys R Us. I don't know what they had at Target, but at Toys R Us they had the 3 figure packs, the 2-packs, and then they had these squishy things where you squish them and their eyeballs bugged out. Yeah. And they had a Phineas, they had a Ferb, and then they had a Perry that looked like a platypus. And when you squeezed him, you know, like a stress ball almost, his little platypus eyeballs bugged out. Yeah. And I thought, that's kind of lame, you know?
Yeah.
I had no interest in those. But, yeah, I thought that these were Toys R Us exclusives as well, but Chrissy picked these up at Target. So I don't know what else they have at Target. I haven't actually looked. I've never seen these there. Usually when I go to Target, I head straight for, you know, the Transformers.
Yep.
And I'll take a look at the G.I. Joe and the Star Wars on the way out just to peek and see what else is out there.
Uh-huh.
But I've never seen the Phineas and Ferb figures at Target, so I was kind of happy when she actually, you know, when she found them. Because she came home, and she's like, oh, I have to go to Target, I'm going to get your birthday present. And I'm thinking, well, she's not going to find it there, because I knew that you had suggested it to her.
No, that's what I was going to say. You know, really, you know, your wife may have gone out and got it, but you have to thank me for doing it, because you told me to send Chrissy a message.
Exactly. I'm thanking you, but I told you to do it.
I know, but you told me to send Chrissy a message and see if I could get her to get this for you. And I sent her a message, and I sent her a link to the Toys R Us page where I found, you know, a listing of the Doofenschmirtz Perry the Platypus 2-pack. Oh, nice. And she never responded to me, and I'm thinking, oh great. It's like 3 days before his birthday. Yes, I just got paid, but there's no way that if I order it from Toys R Us, it's going to get to him by his birthday. So I saw she was on the Facebook chat. You know, her little green thing was lit up, so I'm like, hey, did you get my message the other day? She goes, yeah. I was like, well, you know, he really, really wants... She says, yeah, but he's only allowed to have one collection. I said, I know, but I think it's more of he really wants it for his desk at work. So, you know, he said something to me about wanting to have it on his desk and, you know, whatever else. And she said, okay, well, are they just at Toys R Us? I said, I think so, but I'm not sure. So, you know, there you go.
Yeah. Sweet, yeah. Well, she said, I'm going to Target, I got to get your birthday present. I'm thinking, well, she's not going to find it there, so it'll be interesting to see what she comes back with, because I already own all the Transformers that are at Target.
Yeah.
Not gonna do you any good, because that's pretty much, you know, she knows me well enough, and she knows pretty much what to get me. I make it easy, because, again, I only have one collection. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, just get me a Transformer. Sure, I'll be happy. Yeah, but she came back and said, "Oh, I found what I was looking for," and I thought, wow, that's great, because you weren't gone long enough to go all the way back to Toys R Us. So, because our nearest Toys R Us is way out in Maryville. It's a 20-minute ride out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was nice. I was kind of happy to see that she actually got it, and the figures are nice. I mean, they're not quite statues, but they're kind of statues.
They're more of in-action figures, because they're the type, like, all right, the best thing, and I hate to equate them to this, but the Masters of the Universe Classic line comes, you can buy a separate, like, castle piece that is a, like, figure stand for them. Mm-hmm. Whereas these, because they're in-action figures, they come on the plastic stand already. It's attached to them. It's part of the toy. So I would say they're more of in-action figures.
Well, the stand actually comes off.
Oh, does it? I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, well, I would equate them to, like, the Robot Heroes.
Ah, yeah.
Where, well, like, if you look at Perry, he's one solid chunk of plastic. His hat comes off, which I didn't think it would, but it does. It's kind of cool. His arms rotate at the shoulder, and his tail comes off, but I think that's just for packaging. Because his tail was, like, flat up against his back in the package. Oh. And then it has, a little fit slot A in the tab B, and it only goes one way, so it pops in there and his tail sticks out. But other than that, he has no articulation, and he has a little stand that he comes with two little pegs on it. Mm-hmm. And the stand says Disney Jax China. So yeah. He was molded in China, and he's all of, like, 4 colors. So there's not a whole lot going on with Perry, but he's Agent P. He doesn't need much. Yeah, well, that's the thing. He's a platypus. They don't do much. They don't do much.
but it's one of those things where, regardless, you're not buying the Phineas and Ferb toys for the massive articulation that Leader Class Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime has.
Oh, exactly.
It's not.
Yeah.
You're buying them for, again, it's like my Mighty Mugs obsession. You're buying them to be display pieces. Even though they don't really do much, you can have them hold different guns, like Han Solo's gun and whatever else.
Well, that's the strange thing is his hand. He's got one hand that's kind of like out, like he's gonna jump or something.
Uh-huh.
And he's got another hand that's kind of crooked, like like the vintage Star Wars figures are.
Mm-hmm.
He's only got 3 fingers and a thumb. I just noticed that. But it's kind of set there so he could hold a gun if he wanted to. Now the gun that comes with Doofenschmirtz is the Uglyonator. And I haven't seen the Uglyonator episode, but there's screenshots of it on the back of the box.
Oh, you haven't? I'll have to find it on YouTube and link you to it.
Yeah, that'd be funny. But the gun's way too big for him to hold. But I don't really know where I got this from. It's a little Han Solo gun, and I recognized it because I used to have a little Han Solo a while back. Before I collected Transformers, I collected Star Wars.
Yeah.
And this would have been 12 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, long ago. Pre-Chrissy, damn near, right?
Yeah.
Long ago. Chrissy and I have been together 10 years. So I must have gotten this in like a Transformers lot or something. It might have been in the bottom of the box. And I saw it there and I was like, sweet, it's a Han Solo gun. I'm going to keep it. And it's been sitting on my desk forever. And finally, it's got somewhere to go because it's just the right size to stick into Perry's hand.
Yeah.
I just put a little photo of that up on my TwitPic.
Yeah.
It says, "Curse you, Perry the Wait, is that a plastic DL-44? Where did you get that?" Yeah, because that's the kind of blaster that Han Solo uses.
Yeah.
So and Perry the Platypus shot first.
Yeah, he's not supposed to do that. I don't know. I mean, I guess.
How many times has he jumped in and just?
That's what I was gonna say. I guess you could say he's always kind of jumped the gun first because he always jumps through a wall or crashes through a door or flies through an open window or something. But yeah.
Could you just walk through the front door once, please? And he looks over and the front door is lined with guns. I like the Doofenschmirtz because he's. It's just weird about him, but he's got very, very little articulation, and that I thought he had almost like a ball joint at the neck because you know how he's hunched over a little bit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It only rotates. So it's weird that he can kind of tilt his head from side to side like a puppy thinking about something.
Mm-hmm.
And oddly enough, you can actually turn his head upside down. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it might be
the upside downator headerator.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I was thinking, like reverse Exorcist.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, and then his arms. Yeah, he's got the rotating. Rotates at the arm, so he can hold his arm up or put his arm down, and he's got one hand kind of pointing, like over there, Perry the Platypus, and then he's got another hand that's, crooked for a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got this great big old gun. It's huge, and I thought, man, that's overkill for the gun. But again, it's from one of the cartoons,
mm-hmm.
and it's weird. It's got like a little bubble on the back with a frog in it. I don't understand it at all.
Okay, well,
again, I haven't seen the this episode, but when you push the frog down, it backfires and something green comes out the ass end of the gun.
Yeah,
and it's to smack him in the face. So.
Right. It's the backfiring Uglyinator. What it is in that episode of Phineas and Ferb. Again, I'll have to find it on YouTube for you so you can watch it. But the basic premise is Doofenschmirtz assumes that in order for him to look good, everybody else has to be ugly. Okay.
That makes sense.
So he takes this frog because he thinks frogs are ugly. And he shoots everybody, including Perry, to make them look ugly. And shoots, what was his name? Lance something. It wasn't Lance Bass. It was, I don't know, some strange actor. I don't know, some Lance something, who was really good looking. So he shoots him, makes him ugly. Blah 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 blah. By the time the end of the episode, Perry puts in a picture of this Lance guy and makes everybody back the way they were, including Lance. But when Doofenschmirtz goes to shoot himself with it, he goes, "Oh, yeah, that's really funny. I guess I'm already too ugly. I can't get any uglier." Or I don't know. I'll find it on YouTube for you and watch it. You can laugh.
There's a screenshot of what Perry looks like when he gets hit with the Uglyinator.
Yeah,
and he's pretty ugly. He looks like
pretty ugly.
Perry the Popeye.
Yeah.
Yeah, these huge forearms, and it's just funky looking.
Yeah.
Anyway, so send me the clip of that.
Yeah, well,
so we got Doofenschmirtz here, and he moves at the neck and the shoulders, and oddly he moves at the waist.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, so he can do the twist.
He's
kind of hampered though because he's got this lab. Damn it! Sorry, you can edit that out. He's got. I just smacked myself in the face, right in the microphone.
It's a Doofenschmirtz moment. It's okay. We'll leave it.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, but he rotates, but he's got this lab coat that comes down and around, and the lab coat isn't separate; it's molded into his upper body.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes he can rotate 5-10 degrees tops.
Yeah.
From those, so it's kind of a waste that they would even put in there, unless they meant to mold this in two separate pieces on purpose. Maybe it was easier in the production process or something.
Maybe.
Because they're different colors. I don't know. Maybe. Because it looks like the top piece is white, and because his lab coat is white, and then the front is just painted like a black shirt. And then the bottom part is kind of gray, dark khaki, and then the shoes that are black are kind of painted on there. So that makes sense. Two separate pieces of plastic.
Yeah.
And then the gun fits in his hand. It's a little heavy. It kind of drags a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's got his foot stand with the pegs. I'm putting him back in the pegs now because he will not stand up on his own.
No, there's no way.
Not at all. No way.
No way.
Yeah. So I wanted to do more with him. I pulled out some of the motorcycles from my Transformers collection and set him on top. And he's a little too small for the Transformers movie RC, and a little too big for the earlier RC the RC motorcycle from
Energon.
Was it Energon or? Yeah, it was Energon. So the RC motorcycle from Energon has been repainted about half a dozen times.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's a little too big for that. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I wanted to take a picture of him riding one of the motorcycles. I thought that would be cool. But I'm not sure how well that's going to fly.
Yeah. Due to time constraints, I'm just going to say I've got on my desk here Mighty Muggs Duke from the G.I. Joe line. And it's Duke. Honestly, I can't wait until I get that G.I. Joe set, that complete series set, so I can actually watch the friggin' cartoon, because I honestly don't remember anything about Duke at all whatsoever. Huh. I remember Flint, I remember Lady J, I remember, obviously, Cobra Commander and Baroness and all. I don't remember seeing Duke at all in the cartoon. I don't even remember seeing the 87 film. I honestly don't. I don't even think I did because of the whole controversy with that. I don't know. I think by then I was already on to Turtles. But Duke, I don't think I've talked about him on ToyCast. I don't remember. I know I've talked about millions and millions of Mighty Mugs. Like, I think I have a total of maybe 40, 50 on my shelf. I don't know.
Oh, God. Too many.
Shut up.
More than any one person needs, I think. Yeah.
Shut up, says the guy who has, millions and millions of Transformers in 3 shelves deep in oak cabinets and lights.
Let's leave it at thousands.
Yeah.
Yes.
Millions and millions around the world. Anyway, that's a wrestling reference if anybody missed it.
Oh.
Anyways, Duke is pretty cool. He I guess fills out what current G.I. Joe Mighty Mugs there are as far as characterizations. He's okay. At first I thought his little green gun here, I thought it was a rocket launcher, but apparently it's a rifle or something. I don't know. It looks like, just the way the barrel is, it looks like a rocket launcher, but it's not. It's a rifle. And he does have one American flag. Actually, it's a backwards American flag on his right shoulder, but fairly overall very nice. He does have painted on him some sort of weapon strap belt thing with looks like grenades and extra clips. But overall, very cool. It's part of the G.I. Joe Mighty Mug collection, so whatever.
I wonder why the flag is backwards.
I don't know, but what I mean by backwards is it's mirrored. Like if that's what I'm thinking. It's like the only real use I can think of that is like on the front of an ambulance where it says ambulance, but it's backwards, so you can see it in your rearview mirror. So like if Duke is running up behind you and kind of turns his arm toward you, it's like, oh, it's the American flag through the rearview mirror, right? As he chases you on foot from his car. Or in a power suit.
If he were in a power suit, the flag would be inside. You'd never see it.
True, but I was making a reference to the movie, though. To the live-action film. Anyway.
Oh, Objects in Mirror? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, in between Perry the Platypus, Dr. Heinz Doofenschmirtz, or just Heinz Doofenschmirtz, whatever you want to call him, and Duke, this has been the first clip in the 1-year anniversary of ToyCast. I'd like to thank Michael for taking the extra 10 minutes.
I know, we've been here forever, man. What the hell?
Whatever. This is probably the shortest clip/episode whatever that we will ever do between
that we've ever done. I know.
Yeah, because every single episode that you're on, it doesn't matter what show it is, it's at least an hour.
Yeah, it goes on. I ramble a lot, and this has actually been a test of my iron will.
Well, to
keep this that short.
Yeah. You have a job to go to tomorrow, so. And I'm really trying not to date this, but damn, oh well. Oh crap. So, coming up next on the 1-year anniversary of ToyCast, you're gonna hear, I don't know who, so it'll be a surprise.
Podcast, good!
So this is, the 1-year anniversary of ToyCast. This is the PIA segment. I have PIA with me. Hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. How's it going with you?
Pretty decent.
Yep. So are you planning on going to any conventions this year?
I am, in fact, actually going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm getting sent for Fangoria sending us through work, so...
Oh, cool.
I get to go. Yeah, I just found out that it's looking like we may actually have our flights and everything paid for, so that's even better.
Yeah, I was thinking of more recent ones, like at the end of this month.
I'm not going to BotCon, no. I was considering going. I was seriously looking into possibly flying down for BotCon, and then I found out that because I'd pretty much given up on going to San Diego, and then I found out that I got a press pass to San Diego Comic-Con, and
cool.
At first it was looking like I was going to have to pay my own way, so I was saving up money for that, and now it's looking like I'm sure going to have to pay part of it, but it's looking like that's going to be mostly paid for by the company. So awesome.
Well, there is still. I don't know if you feel like going to Canada, but there is still time to go to TFCon in Toronto.
When's that one again?
It's July 16th to the 18th.
See, I couldn't do that one. That would be right before Comic-Con.
Oh, okay.
San Diego is July 21st through 25th.
Oh.
18th,
right.
Weekend, my wife's family reunion up in Baltimore, where we all sit down and eat crabs and have a good time. So I'm not missing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus all That White Castle food.
Yeah, well, that's up in Maryland. White Castle will hit in August when we go out for my grandmother's birthday. We'll be back in Louisville again. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm probably going to say this in every segment of this show, but we've hit the 1 year mark here on ToyCast. 60 plus episodes in a year. It's just it's amazing. And this is one of those shows where you can record. I can record one of these anytime. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a set. Like a lot of the other shows that we do, There's a set day or schedule or whatever. This is just like whenever. Whenever people are...
I just remember when it first started, we were talking about maybe doing like one a month, and here we're up to 60 is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, the one a month thing was to kind of accommodate everyone's schedules. Like, everyone has different schedules. And I started finding people that could record like one a week, one every 2 weeks. Like Proto-Man's been on, the goddamn Proto-Man's been on here for, oh god, I don't know how many episodes he's in, but... And then my buddy Michael Wilson, he does a lot of them with me as well. General Techno as well. But yeah, it's surprisingly expanded in a year, because now it used to just be Transformers toys, and now I think after episode 25 I expanded it to all toy lines, so it doesn't matter what people collect. It's just one of those broaden your horizons type of things. Yeah. So what are you going to be talking about on the 1 year anniversary?
Well, today I'm going to be talking about the War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. It just came out at Toys R Us last week. A lot of people got him in hand. He's just really, really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I got the video game reserved. I reserved it at Best Buy so I could play with Jazz. And what is up with Twitter?
I don't know.
Every time I go to Twitter, it redirects me to the AOL News homepage.
That's not good.
No, that's not. I mean, even if I go to into like Google and I type in Twitter and it brings up the link to Twitter and I click on it and it takes me to AOL News.
Maybe AOL bought Twitter.
Maybe, but still, I mean, like that's just weird. Oh well.
Yeah, that's weird.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's all right. What do you like best about the alt mode?
You know what? Honestly, there's not a whole lot I like about the alt mode. I mean, it's neat. It's definitely an alien type of vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely armored. Like, it does. Somebody mentioned to me that it does kind of have a vaguely aliens, APC type vibe to it, and that's kind of cool. I really just like it for the robot mode. One, it's just a really awesome Optimus robot mode, and two, it's just I think Deluxe is really just the perfect size class for Transformers because they're not too big to you can throw them in your pocket, you can grab them and take them with you, and yet they're still fun and fiddly enough to be fun. Like the Scouts and the Basics can get a little simple sometimes, and like Voyagers and Leaders are fun and they look neat, but they can get a little complex and maybe a little too overly complicated to just mess with. But the deluxes are just about perfect for messing around with.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I think one of the reasons why I'm so looking forward to getting the Prime is because the War for Cybertron one is because it, obviously, as we've said, it's based off the video game design, and the video game design is something that we've never seen before. I mean,
that too.
Well, in the robot mode, it's still it's basically G1 Optimus updated for Cybertronian, but I mean, the alt mode design is like something that we've never seen before. It's kind of like a futuristic rocket-powered El Camino or something. I don't know. I don't know. It just reminds me of something, along those lines. And I just he looks so awesome.
Yeah, he really does. He's a really neat figure. I'm glad he popped. I'm really kind of surprised and glad that Toys R Us got some of these out before the game came out.
Yeah. Well, once that game comes out, man, there's going to be tons of stuff coming out for it. I'm actually surprised that Hasbro is, well, it's not really Hasbro, but I mean, I'm actually surprised they're designing stuff around the game. Like, normally with G1, the toys came first and then the cartoon, but I mean, with a lot of the cartoons and stuff, the cartoon would show and then, let's make a toy of this or let's make a toy of that. And I'm surprised that they're doing that with a video game. I don't think they've ever done that before.
I'm trying to think. Part of me wants to say that they've done it at least once before, but part of the reason they're making such a big push on that is because they've come out and stated that this video game is pretty much going to be the canon basis for all of their future, at least for the foreseeable future, all their future Transformers fiction. Like all the cartoons and all that stuff are all going to be based off of this prequel story timeline. So and if they're going to put that much into it, if they're going to say like this is going to be our big TF backstory for the foreseeable future, I can see them making the effort to put some, to get out more toys and some of that of some of these things. Yeah,
I just wonder how they're going to do. I wonder if they'll design. Well, I mean, I know we've had now. Thrust is just Generations. He's not part of War for Cybertron, right?
Correct. Yeah, Thrust is just his G1 self.
Right.
It's just a remold of the Japanese release we got a while back.
I wonder what kind of molds they'll use for the jets, because as soon as the game gets released and other waves of those toys come out, that they're gonna make more than just Prime, Bumblebee, and Soundwave and all that stuff. They're going to make Starscream and Skywarp and everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what kind of molds or what kind of, how they're going to design around those game designs. Because, I mean, the War for Cybertron Prime is pretty much the same thing you see in the video game for the most part.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to see how that works out. I've heard that there is a War for Cybertron Starscream coming, but I keep hearing that, and then I haven't actually seen any evidence of that, so who knows?
Yeah. Well, the reason why I say it probably is because, when have we never gotten some sort of Starscream toy?
Yeah, good point.
I mean, come on. And, the raging fangirl fandom will scream at the top of their lungs like a Britney Spears concert or something.
Yeah. I mean, they even found a way to make him into a car for Alternity, so.
I do like that Alternity Skywarp, though. That is kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
I sent, after you showed your video, I sent somebody, I think I sent them the BBTS listing of Skywarp and somebody who's a fan of it. I sent it to her on Twitter, and she's wait, they're cars, ew. I said, yeah, so it's still Skywarp, though. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about, since I won't be actually getting any toys until August. I was going to get I was going to splurge and get all the A-Team toys that just got released on BBTS, but I said, nah, I need to wait on those. But I'll be talking about Mighty Mug's Storm Shadow from the G.I. Joe line.
Okay, cool.
Very, very cool. Every now and then Mighty Muggs will surprise me. Storm Shadow is pretty much his regular American hero form as far as all white, he's got black belts, and he's got the red cobra symbol, and he's got the white mask, and he's got his eyes that are that are showing. But Mighty Mugs really surprised me. Granted, they are pretty much usually just the basic mold, but I've had Shockwave sitting on my desk for God knows how long, and I really already talked about him on this show, but like the little designs, like with the wire, that surprised me. On Storm Shadow's brother, Snake Eyes comes with 2 accessories. I've never seen a Mighty Mug come with 2 accessories. I mean, you really can't count Starscream, well, 2 weapons, I should say. You can't count Starscream's wings as weapons, but Snake Eyes comes with a gun and a sword, which is kind of surprising to me. I like them. They're good. They're nice to have for representations of the characters. For me, they really have no playability factor.
Yeah, they're mostly just display pieces for me too. I've got a few.
Yeah. I tell you one thing. I think right now my 2 favorites out of all of them are still Shockwave and War Machine. That War Machine is amazing.
Yeah, I ended up getting the War Machine and the Mark 6, and that War Machine really is nice.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get Mark 6, but I haven't yet, and unfortunately I can't get the what is it, the 08 Comic-Con version, the metallic version of Iron Man, because everywhere I look, even on Hasbro Toy Shop, it's like $70 and up.
Oh, the one on Hasbro Toy Shop is isn't it like AFA graded?
Yeah, something.
Shit, I hate that stuff. They had all those extra figures, and instead of making them available to people who wanted them, they sent a bunch off to AFA graded and then charged out the ass for them. That pissed me off.
Yeah, but I mean, even on just like I don't do eBay anymore. I just don't. But I mean, even on Amazon, I think the cheapest I found that SDCC Iron Man mug was I don't know, $100, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's an exclusive and everything, but Jesus Christ, these things are. Well, I don't have any deluxe toys standing around, but I mean, they're maybe a little bit smaller than deluxe.
Yeah.
I mean, 100. Oh, I don't know, but overall, Storm Shadow is very, very cool. Really, pretty basic, like I said. It's actually funny how they color some of these things, like especially on like some of the ones that have facial hair and actual like a head of hair.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, the neck is really weird. Like I could go over and get Duke. I talked about Duke in a previous episode I talked about Duke in the previous segment of this episode. On Duke, he has golden like hair, like blonde hair, and then under his neck it's almost like some sort of weird, wacky orangish flesh tone. The same thing with Storm Shadow. His whole head is white, and then under him he's got this like silverish gray thing like under his head where his neck should be. And I'm like, wait, what? That doesn't look right. But I mean, if you just have him standing somewhere and looking at him, you don't notice unless you pick the thing up and turn it upside down.
Yeah.
I wonder if these things come with stands because they have that little plug on the bottom of the foot, or not come with stands.
I've always wondered that myself because they do have that. They all have it. They all have that little square peg on the bottom. But I think that's more for stuff like I think Silver Surfer plugged into a surfboard using that.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
So maybe that was just something they included on all of them, so they didn't have to change anything when they made figures like that. I could be wrong, but that'd be my guess. Yeah, I do remember, and I still have to get Silver Surfer and Galactus, but yeah, I do remember seeing Silver Surfer. He plugged into his surfboard. That's the other thing. Some of the accessories surprised me. In a previous episode of ToyCast, I talked about the cowboy version of Wolverine, the Logan figure with the cowboy hat. And I've got pictures of the cowboy hat on the Starscream Mighty Mug, on Shockwave, on Mega. It's just funny to just put it on other ones. It's hilarious. It's just hilarious. I do like some of the interchangeability of some of that stuff.
Yeah. What other stuff are you expecting coming as far as toys that you're going to be either reviewing or just stuff you're expecting to have?
Well, I got War for Cybertron Bumblebee today, as well as Generations Drift. I've got the Voyager, Hunt for the Decepticons Optimus Prime coming. I've got some DC Universe figures coming. I've got some more Green Lanterns and a couple more Superman figures on the way.
Yeah, that Kilowog looks awesome.
Kilowog is awesome.
I like what you did in the video before you put him together. You put his head and his crotch together.
Oh yeah, well that's what came together in one of the
in the Cat Matui
packs. Yeah, Cat Matui came with. Oh, he is broken. Awesome.
Who's broken?
That sucks. My War for Cybertron Bumblebee. He's supposed to have a couple little tabs that help peg the front wheels into the body, and they snapped off.
Oh, nice. That's not...
I mean, it still holds together because he latches together in a couple other places too, but he didn't hold together as tight as he should because the pieces broke off. Effing awesome.
So I guess we could call this segment PR, Behind the Video segment.
I just won't mention it in the video.
Yeah. But yeah, what was it? Yeah. I've been trying to figure out how I can start collecting them, and I'm going to have to go to BBTS, obviously, because the website that they're actually originally sold through, that website sucks. I really want to start collecting the Masters of the Universe classics. I really
collector.
Yeah, I really do. Because I just finished watching the 2002 cartoon, and I grew up on the 80s version, obviously.
Oh yeah, so did I.
And those figures look so awesome, but yet they have a website and a company that just totally sucks as far as being able to buy them at retail prices. Because I mean, if you get them from Big Bad Toy Store, they're a little bit more than what the actual price is, but that's because it's through a third party. So it's because it's through a middleman, which is whatever. But yeah, I really want to start collecting those. I'm gonna have to try to start doing that by the end of the year, hopefully. Hell, if I can still find them, because most of the BBTS ones, if they've not removed them, they're sold out.
Oh yeah, they're hard to find.
Yeah,
but the thing is, every time they sell out, eventually Matty Collector will reissue them, and when they reissue them, they don't. They generally reissues generally tend to not sell out within the 5 minutes like the new ones do. Like the Hordak when they first issued it sold out in like 5-10 minutes. It was done. Yeah. But when they reissued it last month, he was around for 2 or 3 days.
Still,
so, oh yeah.
But I mean, I don't understand why, and I really don't want to get on a Matty Collector rant, but I don't understand why Matty Collector doesn't just make these. I mean, they know that they're popular toys, especially more so with collectors than kids. But I mean, they know that they're popular. I don't understand why they don't just make them like, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, however many thousands of product that you want. If the demand is there, I don't understand why they don't make extra to have a restock instead of reissuing.
Well, because they. I don't know. I think they were a little unprepared for, and then they have been slowly increasing the numbers over time, but that takes a few months to get processed. If they sell out of 500 Hordaks this month, and they say, oh, maybe next time we should make 700, that doesn't affect anything until 3 or 4 figures 3 or 4 months down the line. So it's just a slow process.
Yeah. It's a very slow process. Yeah. What else can we talk about, I guess? What are your opinions on the the new cartoon, the new Transformers cartoon coming?
I'm looking forward to seeing it. Like I said, I know they got Peter Cullen for Prime, and somebody was mentioning that how great it was to see Peter Cullen and Frank Welker in the same studio. So they may have gotten Frank Welker for Megatron, which I'm really looking forward to. And I know we got Jeffrey Combs as Ratchet, which I think might be interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that one turns out. I don't really know all that much about it, so it's kind of just I'm curious. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how it goes as it gets closer.
Yeah. I almost wish that Hasbro would have stuck with Cartoon Network and not tried to create their own channel, because just from ads and stuff I've seen, it's like 90% Discovery Kids, 10% Hasbro.
Yeah.
Just from that little, I don't know if you said, it was about a month and a half ago, that little ad that they showed.
Nah, maybe did I see it? I may have seen it. I may not have. I don't remember.
It came out a while ago. I think TFW featured it on their site as like, hey, check out this commercial. This had the new hub commercial or whatever. I don't remember. What do you think of the the quote unquote firing of Fox?
Firing of Megan Fox. I don't really care. I seriously, like, the way the first year going, I don't think it's going to impact the story all that much. People are like, oh god, how are they going to explain it? I'm like, did you see the second movie? I mean, like, it's not like the whole franchise is going to go down the toilet because Megan Fox isn't there to pout and show her ass. I mean, like, that's really all there is to it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not all that concerned. I'll wait and see. I'm more interested in the robots than the people anyway.
Well, yeah, that's the thing though. I've come to a decision. It doesn't matter who you have starring in a Transformers film as far as humans. It honestly does not. You're there for seeing the giant robots kick each other's ass. That's what you're there for.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with John Malkovich and Patrick Dempsey.
Yeah.
Like, Patrick Dempsey now makes me 2 degrees removed from Transformers, so that's pretty cool. I used to do some extra work, and I was in a movie with Patrick Dempsey here in Richmond a few years back, so...
Oh, cool. Yeah, I still have to get my 10 Things DVD out and watch that party scene.
You really don't see me. You see, like, the side of my face and an elbow.
Well, you'll have to... I don't know if you have a copy of it handy. You'll have to find the timestamp. Huh?
Yeah, I started off talking about that, and he said he needed to get DVD. But yeah, in Iron Drawed Angels, the one with Patrick Dempsey, I am in the middle of a fight scene, and you get a couple good shots of me in that one.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. All right. Well, I think that's about it. Unless you want to bring anything else up.
No, I got nothing else. I'll probably, if I get on here again, I'll probably start talking more about some DC UC figs because I've really gotten into those lately.
I like the look of them. I don't know if it's something I could actually like fully start collecting. I mean, because I'm pretty much done. I'm not really done with Transformers toys, but I mean, as far as like stuff that I don't have yet, like even though I have a BotCon version and a Nemesis version, I don't have the original Classics Prime. I don't have the original Classics or Henkei Rodimus yet, but I mean, there's stuff that's still out there that I don't have that I want to get, but as far as new stuff, until I see the new toy line for the cartoon, all
right.
There's nothing really that I want. I wish that they would just, and I know this isn't going to happen, but I wish they would just adapt War for Cybertron to be the new cartoon, but I don't think it'll happen.
I think it's going to come. I think it's going to spin fairly closely out of War for Cybertron. We'll see. I don't know that for certain, but I have a suspicion that the new cartoon is going to be fairly rely fairly heavily on War for Cybertron. I could be totally wrong about that, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. I have seen the new Bumblebee design, or at least part of the new Bumblebee design for it, and it definitely looks cool to me. I'm looking forward to seeing the character models for that one at least.
Yeah, I'll definitely be hopefully picking up the Exodus book, the War for Cybertron prequel book. And I know Allspark Almanac comes out as well on the 22nd this month, so I'll try to pick that up as well.
Yeah, I've got that pre-ordered. And actually, I subscribed to Transformers through IDW's site.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually just got issue 8 today. I don't think it's due out until like next week.
Oh, really?
So maybe I'll spoil TFW and be like, now PR has a very early review of.
Oh, that's funny. That's very, very funny. All right, well, I think we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for being here, Mr. P.A., sir.
Oh, thanks for having me again. Sorry it's taking me so long to get back on here.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's one thing I forgot to bring up. When the hell was the last time you were on this show was like maybe episode 13?
I don't even know if it was that. I may have even been like episode like 4 or 5.
Well, no, we did that BotCon 3-part special way back when with.
Oh yeah.
So I think it was like 11, 12, and 13, or 10, 12, 10, 11, and 12, or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. So, but yeah, thanks for being on. And I don't know who's going to be coming up next on the 1 year anniversary. So stay tuned, and we'll be back after this. We are celebrating ToyCast's 1 year anniversary, and joining me now is General Techno. Hello, sir.
Hello there.
And the mind behind, one of the minds behind TFCon Toronto, the goddamn Proto-Man. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm always great. Been busy. Sorry I haven't been able to jump on the show so much. I recently bought a house. Now I've been doing the painstaking packing. So
Fun.
It doesn't really dawn on you how much you have until you actually have to put it in boxes.
Oh, believe me, I'm not looking forward to that when I eventually move, just packing my Transformers collection.
They don't make Transformer toys like they used to. Thank God.
I'm just thinking, thank goodness I'm not one of those people who I keep a lot of packaging, but thank goodness I'm not one of those people who's big on keeping all the boxes unfolded and stuff. Otherwise, I'd have so much space of empty space.
There's only
like an article about this. I'm telling you. After this experience, I really should.
Yeah, you should. There's only one toy line that I like. Everybody knows that I do 2 of everything, just because, especially with Transformers, because of alt and bot modes. But
yes.
There's only one toy line that I will buy 2 of everything and keep one of them mint in box, and that's if I can ever get a hold of any of these, which is the Masters of the Universe Classics collection. Fuck you, MattyCollector.com. You and your horrible...
I have way too many friends that are on your boat, let me tell you.
I know. Well, it's not even... I haven't even been, in the boat of trying to even buy them on Matty Collector. I know there's no way I can even do it. So, I'd love to get them from BBTS, but because BBTS is a third-party seller, or a second-party... whatever the heck... Middleman, basically. The prices are, $10, $15, $20 more than what they would be from Matty. So eventually, once I get some money saved up, I'm going to start buying those. I'm really, I think the only boxes that I've saved are the Mighty Mug boxes, because they're the easiest ones to save and not destroy.
They're pretty looking.
Yeah, plus they're neat looking unless you live in Canada.
Yeah. Oh. Low blow.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, you could always move to the States.
Yeah. I'll just cross the border just for the boxes.
Yeah, there you go. I've never really been a mint in box or save box kind of collector. I just haven't. I don't know.
That's kind of one of the good things, actually, about living in Canada, and I've heard a lot of Canadian fans bring up this point, too, is that because in Canada, the tech specs and the profiles are no longer on the back of the box.
Yes.
Because they actually, it's an insert piece of paper. Now you could just, you could buy an entire wave of Transformers, and just, if you were really a box completist, you would keep only one box and then throw out the other 6.
Yes.
So you would all have the same box. But you would keep all the insert paper, the front bubble, if you will, not the bubble, but the insert bubble, and all of that stuff. When you put it in a folder, it takes a lot less space than.
And often I noticed that if they can, they print it on the back of the instructions too.
Yeah,
so you've got one sheet that you were going to keep anyway.
Exactly, and it's good because at least I know when it came to Revenge of the Fallen and Movie 1. A lot of that stuff, when it unfolded, especially specifically the deluxes, you could actually slip that in a folder. You ever seen they have for binders, they have that thing you could hold a piece of paper. It's plastic, but it's a plastic sheet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what they're called, but you could kind of slip a whole bunch of them into that, and then you could kind of a book of all the profiles.
Yeah,
it's
kind of like comic book covers. It's kind of like the comic sleeves.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And that's awesome that they. I mean, now it's not the same scale anymore with a lot of different figures. Obviously, we got a leader class; it's not the same. But it was pretty cool when they kind of had that at first. And it saves a lot more space than keeping hardbacks.
I've noticed though that Hasbro Canada is just with the recent waves that they're moving back towards putting stuff on the card back, unique card backs. I've noticed with a lot of the later Revenge of the Fallen deluxe figures.
I think maybe also because when it's end of line, they don't try as much.
Well, they did the same thing with Universe, though, I recall, because I remember them saying at TFCon back when Universe was coming out that they were that they wanted to get the individual cards, and that was coming down the line.
Yeah, and the fans were like, "We want it back," and I'm like, "No, I've saved so much space since then." Yeah.
Well, keep in mind the reason that we wanted it though was less because of the card backs and more because of the art on the boxes.
I guess so too.
We wanted it just for the box art, I think. Because
I would have hated that if they did that to animated. Because animated, what was so cool about it was you got like 3 kinds of box art. You got like the front box art, the side box art, and then the back box art.
Plus, it was all removable too, for the most part.
Yeah, like that was great. Like animated, if they ever made it generic, that would be horrible. Like, I would never want to have like Beast Machine's Cheetor era.
Yes,
that was the worst.
But yeah, the best part about the animated toy line though was just the fact that they on the Canadian boxes that everything was on inserts. So they could actually use the same box for the whole wave, but make the boxes look different.
Yeah, and it worked. It worked.
Yeah, I know this is going to be environmentally incorrect, but I miss Styrofoam. I miss G1 boxes. Because that was so much easier than these goddamn twist ties and these fucking elastic pieces of shit.
Well, actually, you know who you have to blame for the twist ties? It was because of Power Rangers. When Power Rangers came out, the first wave of Power Ranger toys, it was the #1 stolen from the box toy line in the world. And Toys R Us and all the retailers were complaining because they would find a box of Power Rangers, you would open it up and the toy was missing because it was literally just being held down in a cardboard prison.
Yeah.
You know, like cardboard pieces were holding it from shaking,
right?
But there wasn't much holding it. And after that happened, all the retailers are like, you guys got to frickin' do something, otherwise we're not picking up your product. We're losing money here. You know, at the time, like an $89 Megazord was disappearing off the shelf because a kid could easily just walk in and steal the T-Rex out of it.
Heck, this is kind of similar, I guess. I happen to have, I got a month back or so, I got a Mitten box of Megabyte from the 1990s Reboot toy line. And I got that for $15, a decent price, but I'm just, now that you mentioned that, I was just looking at it and it's like, there's no twist ties on
nothing.
anywhere.
Nothing at all. But Power Rangers, after that happened, like, they pretty much, like, Toys R Us, and at the time, it wasn't Walmart, but it was, like, they had, Kmart, they were all like, look, you guys got to do something about this, otherwise. And this was Bandai of America, and they're like, so they put twist ties and everything.
Right.
And after they did that, no theft happened anymore. No one was able to open up a box and let's put it this way. Look how long it takes you as an individual with a clipper to take out a transformer. Imagine a guy struggling, hoping he doesn't get caught in an aisle of a toy aisle. It makes it a lot more difficult. So.
Oh, true, and I understand that, and I can complain about most of because obviously where I started collecting to get boxes and twist ties was animated. Most of them I can kind of barely complain about because they're fairly okay and easy to get. The main part where it really pissed me off was when I almost lost my whole thumbnail on fucking Blitzwing because they put a twist tie in the middle of his fucking body.
I cut open my finger on what was the one? It was oval. It was the Minicon 3-pack team that was the 3 street cars, but it was oval. Oh my god, I'm trying to remember the names.
I know. Is that the one from Cybertron?
No, not Cybertron. This is the one that was Armada. It was a 3-pack of cars. I'm trying to remember. It was oval. That's the one I remember the most because he looked like a Honda Civic.
Is that the okay?
Anyways,
I know what you're thinking.
It's like the Street Speed team. Yeah, that's probably it. And I remember I cut my finger right open on it because I had at the time I was like, I'm not going to use pliers. I'm going to use an X-Acto to cut these. That was very smart of me.
It's funny you say that though because in my experience, I don't like the new twist ties they're putting on because I'm the type of person who, I could use scissors or an X-Acto to cut them, but I generally prefer just doing it by hand. I generally undo twist ties by hand unless it's something huge with 20 twist ties or something like Unicron or something like that.
Oh yeah, it took me 30 minutes to take Unicron out of the box, let me tell you.
But yeah, otherwise I just do it all by hand, and these new ones you can't really do them by hand. They're easier to cut, mind you, I will say that's to their credit, but I don't like them as much because there's something to be said for the cool plastic ones which just sit around and you can see them really easily and stuff. And they're kind of neat because they're reusable too to some extent.
But again, like, that's kind of why we even have them today, was after, like, Bandai, like, initiated them, then all the other toy companies were kind of like, well, I think we better meet up to that standard, otherwise we might get through the same problem. Right. So then, before you know it, almost every, like, major toy company did. I mean, sure, like, Mattel, I think, is, like, one of the few that still doesn't do it. Like, if you pick up any of their DC Infinite Hero figures or their Barbies, they still don't, and the reason why I know Barbies, because I actually picked up the Speed Racer Barbie 2-pack when the movie was out. I'm not going to talk about that.
Sure.
But,
you already opened the door. You just kicked yourself in the ass as a
I know, but either way, Speed Racer, it's manly, I think. Anyways. It came with Trixie, too. Okay, I'm not helping myself. Anyway,
no.
Like a hooker.
No, you could have gotten yourself off the case really easily.
Yeah, if I would have said it was Racer X, it was Trixie. Anyways, no, but it's like, I know that Mattel, they don't really use twist ties on any of their stuff, especially their action figures. But I know Bandai, they were the first ones to do it, and then Hasbro followed soon afterwards. Right. And when Kenner merged into Hasbro, it was just, apples and oranges together. So, that's why, like, yeah, I could agree with the styrofoam thing. Also, the good thing with styrofoam is that I find that boxes are less likely to collapse on themselves because styrofoam's a lot stronger. Like, you could stack a shitload of boxes on top of each other.
Yes.
Where when you're relying on a cardboard insert to hold stuff, oh my god, those Armada boxes were so oddly shaped. Or even the first movie ones, where you, like, stack 3 of those on top of each other, and that bubble breaks, and then everything just collapses on itself. And, I do shows where you have to, like, stack figures on top of each other to just get as much space as possible to display, to sell. And they're crushing each other. They literally are, and it's a shame because the styrofoam stuff, it stays strong.
Yeah.
It does.
One thing I will say with theft, though, is that, twist ties, they're a great way to deter theft, but unfortunately these days it seems that there's another enemy of security for toys which is coming up, and that is employees who aren't paid enough to care and notice if people have swapped things out.
Oh, let me tell you something. The whole toy swapping thing, I remember first seeing it, I think it was when Universe 1.0 came out. And that was a big, like, deal to me because I was seeing the weirdest shit happening. Like, I remember, like, Universe 1.0 Optimus Primal with that, like, brown, like, Rastafarian color scheme. And that was the box, but inside it was the Dragon Zord. And I was like,
why would you swap out a Dragon Zord?
I don't know. That's what I was saying. I'm like, you know what? Maybe that Dragon Zord's worth more money.
I think I saw that once, actually. I saw something like that. I think it was someone had swapped an Episode 2 Clone Trooper into some box or something.
And I remember when I first saw this and I posted about it, they said, you know what? This has been going on forever. And I think, like, its origins, it came from the G.I. Joe community. Because what the G.I. Joe community used to do, because they're like, heavy in the kit bashing and customizing, they would take, like, a set of, like, figures and then put in, like, bootleg Joe figures or crappy Joe figures back in and return them. And no one's the wiser with those. When you return a Transformer, if it's blatantly, like, purple and green and you put in, like, I don't know, some kind of, like, yellow sports car, they're going to notice because of the box art and everything. But Joe's, they're so generic and human-looking that you could just put anything in there and it'll pretty much pass,
Right.
Especially a lot of Joe stuff that just doesn't have box art at all.
I think part of it, again, is the fact that they don't pay these employees enough to give a crap.
Of course not. And
I don't blame the employees. They're not making enough to give.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the average Walmart employee doesn't really care about their toy department. They're looking at the clock and they're just hoping that they get their paycheck so they could, relax for the weekend and pay the rent.
Yes.
I don't know if I've ever told this story on ToyCast, but when I first got the very first Voyager Optimus from Animated, I found him at I can't believe I found him at Walmart, and this is the one with the faction symbol, not the one that I got from Entertainment Earth without the faction symbol. But when I got him, the lady was there stocking stuff up. I guess she works in the toy. I don't know. She's putting stuff on the shelf and stuff. I said, "Is there any others of this one?" She goes, "No, whatever's out is out." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I grab it, and I had because I usually bring my backpack with me if I have to carry, like, my keys, my wallet, my cell phone, and they all won't fit in my pocket. So I had my backpack, and everybody knows Voyager boxes. They're not super big, but they're big enough to where, it would be noticeable if you tried to put one in a backpack.
Oh, clearly.
So I was sitting on a Walmart bench inside the store still. I went there to get my wallet out to get the money out, or my card out to go up and pay for the toy. I set the box down next to me on the bench, and I had my backpack in my arms. Next thing I know, some Walmart employee comes by and says, "Oh, you trying to put something in your bag?" I'm like, "No, dude." He's like, "Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm like, "You see the box right there, don't you?"
You know what? They're underpaid and they're bored.
I don't care. You cannot. It's just all right. It's just the same thing as defamation of character or assaulting someone's character. When they plainly see the fucking product that you're going to buy, you don't have anything else in your hands. They see it on the fucking bench and they basically outright accuse you of stealing. I should have gone to the fucking management, but I said, fuck it, I don't want to. I just went up, paid for it, and left. But it's one of those things where you don't outright accuse somebody of stealing something in a store unless you think they've actually stolen something. I mean,
right.
Like I said, this box, the Voyager boxes, they're at least both hands full, for the most part. I mean, you can't palm a Voyager box in your hand.
You can't put that under your shirt and hope to get away with it.
Exactly. I mean,
I'm 9 months pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm naming it B.
Yeah, it's gonna be a robot.
Schwarzenegger and Junior.
But it's like, Jesus Christ, man. And then Blitzwing. Blitzwing is so fucking... Oh, God. I am so glad that I only like his robot mode. That way I don't have to buy 2 other ones of him. Because, holy crap, like I was saying, I had to transform him to get him out of the box.
Really?
Yeah. It was that bad.
Wow. I know, I screw around with Walmart customers. I remember I went to the States once, and I bought like $300 in merchandise of TFs and stuff, because there was just so much there that I didn't have back home. And when I went to the cash and I paid for everything, and they were like, "Oh, is this for your little boy?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, yes it is." "Oh, how old is he?" 26. And then she looked at me like I was crazy, I love that.
Yeah, I normally don't mess.
I do that with Toys R Us too. Toys R Us, whenever they ask me, "Would you like a gift receipt?" I go, "No, I'm just gonna go home and open it and play with it."
Yeah, I always say, they ask me and I'm always like, "Yeah, no, don't bother." It's always
don't
interesting.
Bother. I'm gonna go home and play with it right here.
Although one thing though, it's always interesting. Like, I haven't been to Toys R Us nearly as often this time of year, but like they switch at the one I always go to. I mean, like for a while, like I was getting the same. I generally got like the same salespeople at the register, so I mean, like they pretty much knew I was a collector at that point. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's always kind of fun.
Like, honey, I'm wearing the Autobot shirt. Can I make it any more apparent?
Well, I just mean because I bought so much, because I buy so much stuff from their register, and it's like, it's pretty clear I'm a collector. It's pretty clear I'm a collector when I'm going on my bike and picking up Transformers.
It's not only that. It's like, when you're like, that's what I said. Like either I'm a collector, or this is the most fucking luckiest kid on the entire planet right now. Whoever I'm buying this all for.
Plus, if I'd had kids, then I mean I'm way too young to be buying this stuff for them anyway. Even if just going off a time frame, either that or I'd be some sort of inbred, who knows? But
how old are you again? You're in your 20s, aren't you?
23. I turned 23 this year, so.
It's not uncommon.
It's not.
I
mean,
but still, that's pretty young though. So
I know.
Considering I
do
do stuff like say bike home with a Unicron.
Oh, good luck there.
Me. I did that. So I had to buy a bag.
Put Fortress Maximus on the handlebars.
I had a bag to do that because they were out of the large bags at that time. So I bought a bag just to get Unicron home.
That's funny.
Now, Walmart and Target, well, I don't know about Target. I really haven't had any problems with them, but, I mean, Walmart in general, outside of toys, is just like, well, if we don't have it, we don't have it, and you're shit out of luck. But, I wouldn't think, regardless of whatever Toys R Us employees are paid, they're a fucking toy store. I would think that they would, you guys were talking earlier about the whole switching stuff.
Yes.
I would think, because it is a fucking toy store, that they would put more attention into it.
Oh, I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it in Zellers, which is a company that's exclusively to Canada. I've seen it in Walmart. I've seen it in Toys R Us. It was really rampant during that like late Armada, early Energon Universe 1.0 era. That's when I found it was the most thick and busy. And that was around the same time that, like, I remember, oh God, that was the one that blew my mind when the first run of 20th Anniversary Optimus Prime came out, and I saw a Barbie doll in the box. That's when it got me. I was like, wow, how did someone miss this? How did someone return this? And the person thought, and this was at Zellers, which a lot of people, you know, who are listening are Americans. They don't know what Zellers is. But Zellers, I would say, is kind of the equivalency of maybe I would say Target. It's that same feel, I guess I'll call it.
Same color scheme, too.
Yeah, if you want to get a feel of what Zellers is, it's like Target back home for you guys. And I was just shocked. I was like, oh my God, how the hell did this, like, you know, return desk officer see this big, you know, red and silvery box with Transformers and the Autobot logo on the top, and saw Barbie there with her blonde hair and her tie-dye outfit, and go, well, this all seems in order. Here's your $69.99 back, sir. It's like, what the hell, you know? Like, it blew my mind, and I was like, you know, but that I see at Zellers all the time. Zellers is probably the biggest, like, punching bag for theft and swap toys than any other store I've ever seen.
That and Kmart.
Well, that's just it. They're kind of like the Kmart, Target. I don't even know how to describe them. They're just, you have to be in a Zellers to understand it. Like, they're very popular in Canada, but they're one of those cases of just employees just really don't care. They really don't. But you know what? I can't blame them. I mean, it's the same way if you go to Burger King and someone screws up your order, you could be angry, but at the same time, that poor son of a bitch in the back, he's tired, he's sweating, and he's getting paid $7 an hour. Can you blame him? You know, that he put ketchup on your Whopper? You know?
But at the same time, with all this new technology, it says right there on the screen, whatever the burger is, Whopper, chicken sandwich, whatever, if it says no ketchup or no whatever, it's right there on the fucking screen. Unless you're fucking blind, you can fucking see it.
I guess so.
Or unless you're on drugs and you don't understand it, unless you're high at work, you can fucking see it and get the fucking order right. The fast food does a lot of
it is
stuff.
Burger King. Some of them are high at work.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Anyways, I gotta say, everybody knows that I've been, last year and a half, I've been on a huge Mighty Mug kick. And before War Machine came out, the only one that I had ever seen that had two weapons come with him, and I don't count Starscream's wings because those are accessories and not weapons, was Snake Eyes from the G.I. Joe line. It actually surprised me that he comes with a gun and a sword. And yeah, he's basically a black Mighty Mug with other black and silver points on him. I mean, hell, if you took off some of the other paint apps, he'd just be a black blank Mighty Mug for the most part. Yeah, no, I don't know. What else you guys want to talk about?
Let's see, what did I buy? I bought a lot of, like, TFs online recently, but it's all old stuff that I've been plugging the holes in. In terms of new figures, I've been on a bit of a DC Infinite Heroes kick recently. Mm-hmm. I've been picking up this and that now that it's kind of like a few waves in, I could go back and pick up stuff up cheaply.
Yeah.
I've been picking up Flash, Professor Zoom, Jay Garrett, the first Flash. A lot of the 3-packs are now going on clearance.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of winners.
Yeah, they're like super, super cheap now. Like, what is it, $4.99 or $9.99? I don't even remember.
But what I've seen that's hilarious is I've seen at the winners near me, there's a Unleashed Megatron from the first movie line.
How much is that?
I honestly don't know. It's been there for a while.
Like, that's what Winners is kind of like. Sometimes it's super cheap, sometimes it's kind of expensive. But in the case of like these Infinite Hero 3-packs, they're like uber cheap, like $4.99 for 3 figures. That normally each one went for about like $9.99.
Yeah.
So I've been picking up a lot of those. I have like the Green Lantern 3-pack. I have the Superman 3-pack, the Flash 3-pack. I started picking up some individual ones from specialty stores pretty cheap, like Professor Zoom, which is like the Reverse Flash. I picked up Wally West, which is the Flash 3, if you will, after Barry Allen. I just been the Batman, the Gotham Knight Batman set. I just made because they're really nice figures. I find that the QC on them is a little better than, and I love Marvel. Marvel will always be better than DC to me in my eyes. So this is not a biased opinion, but I think that the QC on these figures in Infinite Heroes DC are a million times better than the Marvel Universe 3-inch ones. I find the Marvel Universe ones, every time you buy a figure, it's a gamble. Like, you buy one Silver Surfer and his leg is just loose and floppy as shit. And then you buy another one and then his arm is loose and sloppy as shit. But the legs are fine. And that bothers the hell at me that the QC is so bad. Where I've bought, I think I'm like on my 30th figure now of Infinite Heroes, and not a single one of them has a problem. Maybe a paint app blotch here or there, but the good thing about paint app blotches is that you could see them through the packaging. When you pick up the figure, you could see, oh, this one looks ugly, I'm not going to buy this one. When you buy Silver Surfer or Daredevil from the Marvel line, and you look at it, oh, the paint's great, you take it out, oh my god, his head spins when you just shake the toy. It's that loose.
Now, my question is about the DC ones, because I've seen those around, but how are they in terms of posability compared to the Marvel ones?
The Marvel ones, I will agree, have a little bit better posability, but see, actually, it's funny that you mentioned that, because when this line initially started, the posability was not bad. I wouldn't call it G.I. Joe great, but it's, rotating arms, biceps are basic, it rotates at the waist, the head rotates, the knees and everything, but they're not G.I. Joe posable. But as opposed to the Marvel ones, which were very G.I. Joe posable, but then again, it's Hasbro,
Yes.
So after 3 waves of this, DC went back and said, you know what, we're going to throw our hat in the game and make them G.I. Joe posable. So they're actually revisiting some of the more popular previously released figures like the Flash and Batman and making them super posable, and then all the ones that are going to be coming after 2009 are going to be super posable too.
I might have to check those out then, because that's the main reason I haven't gotten any.
They're I swear, I am not a huge DC fan. Marvel I love a million times more, but it's so depressing how much better these figures are. The quality, I think the most common one that you could, anyone right now could go to stores and find, and he's a winner, is get the Batman one. Because I know everyone's seeing, I'm pretty sure you see Commissioner Gordon and the SWAT like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's everywhere. But part of that wave is Batman and Scarecrow. If you could get that Batman, and he's probably 5 per case of 10 per, Commissioner Gordons or whatever. But if you could get that Batman, I guarantee you're going to love the hell out of this figure. It is the best $5 you will ever spend, or whatever he's going for in your area. Because they're so high quality, the paint is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It blows my... they're better than some G.I. Joe figures I've bought directly from Hasbro. It's just... I think Mattel really knew what they were doing when they were doing these figures.
You know what I find very interesting? There's always been the Marvel versus DC or DC versus Marvel thing throughout comics and cartoons and toys and everything else. I find it very interesting that Hasbro has Marvel, Mattel has DC.
Oh, and it even goes beyond that. WB has always been DC's home.
Yeah.
Where Marvel has always kind of been shopping around, with Fox for the longest time, and now they're kind of okay, well, Fox really isn't doing it for us now, and they were thinking at one point of going to 4Kids, now they're jumping into the anime foray, and then DC jumped into the anime foray with Gotham, with what was it called
Gotham
there?
Knight?
Gotham
Knights, yeah, and now you have the Wolverine and Iron Man anime. They've always been at each other's necks, but they're the big two. They're
right. I mean, I find it what I mean as far as interesting as far as the toy lines go. You have Hasbro and Mattel, easily the big two of the toy world. I mean, because Kenner's
easily.
Easily they're the big two. Yeah, I mean, Kenner merged with Hasbro, so you have the big two of the toy world and the big two of the comic world. Marvel's on one side, DC on the other, with the respective companies with Hasbro and Mattel. So I find that very interesting.
What I find just as interesting is how the two companies are taking they seem to be taking a bit different directions in that. Mattel they've stuck a lot more. They've done some dabbling in media, but they're still very much a toy company, whereas Hasbro is going, we've got all of these successful brands, and they're trying to actually become more of a media company that also handles all the merchandising for their stuff. Kind of like Disney to some extent, in that Disney's stuff really, it's their films and stuff, arguably, it's all support for the merchandise.
Oh, of course, and see, that's kind of thing, like, the DC Infinite Heroes line, the whole line was kind of, like, invented as a giant nod to the Crisis on Infinite Earth comic book series from the mid-'80s.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, because it did so well, it just kind of ballooned from there, and it still looks back and does that nod to it. But where the Marvel line was just kind of like, it was kind of like Hasbro's like, well, we got the Marvel license now, what are we going to do with it? Let's do 3-inch figures, because Lord knows Toy Biz or whatever did those Legends for, like, God knows how many years, you know? Mm-hmm. So let's try to do something that everyone would love. Scale to G.I. Joes, you know? And, hey, it worked. It's selling like crazy. I mean, sure, the quality is, as much as it kills me to say it, the quality is not great. I mean, God, I really wish some of, like, I would want a really nice-looking Captain America, but the paint's horrible, the joints are horrible, like... Daredevil, Silver Surfer, Spidey, my list goes on and on.
There's hit and miss with that line. Like It really is. Yeah, it's like, I mean, I got recently like the Kitty Pryde from the Marvel line, and like the paint apps on the face and stuff. Like it's got really good paint apps on the face. Like
you know what? Now that you mention it, female characters aren't too bad.
Well,
Marvel.
Have you seen the pictures of that? Well, don't say that because you probably haven't seen pictures of the Mary Jane that they're coming out with.
Yeah.
Because
the Jean Grey I know is ugly as sin.
Well, no, the Mary Jane sculpt is one of those things which is, good God, how did they possibly sculpt this? Because this sculpt is absolutely horrible.
What do you guys think of the DCUC line from Mattel, the DC Classics line?
I love that line. I really do. It's just, it's in my area. It's impossible to find them. Like when I do actually find a figure, it's like the shelf-warming penguin or something. Like I never get to anything in time. I would love to have more of those, but it's just I never like. I'd love to get like the Nightwing from it or the Flash, but I guess maybe in the States they're probably a lot more.
Yeah, I've seen stuff here and there. I'm not as interested in 6-inch scale stuff. So.
Well, I know you're not, but I was basically asking Proto Man. Yeah, that Mary Jane thing is horrible.
Yeah, like Techno just posted
the
Mary Jane figure. Yeah, wow. Like, you know, it almost looks like they just took some Joe bodies together. You know what? Now that I look at it, she almost looks naked if you look at it quickly.
Well, heck, yeah.
Like if she's just wearing a tank top or something, you know?
Well, they didn't even. It's one of those sculpts which is like the proportions look horrible. Like looking at, she's got Popeye forearms, and her legs look like they're spread out too wide.
You know, Mary Jane's one of those figures. Does she really need to be super articulated anyway?
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, I look at the Kitty Pryde I've gotten, it's like, you know, you could have just used this mold and given it a new head, because that mold is really well proportioned, and it pretty much satisfies all the criteria of Mary Jane.
Mary Jane is a fashion star and an actor, and here she is wearing like something like a fangirl at a convention would be wearing.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Exactly, like the Kitty Pryde, she's wearing something that if they jazzed it up a bit, like with paint apps, it would be a believable like fashion statement for Mary Jane or something. Mm-hmm. Like especially like 90s Mary Jane.
Yeah, I don't know as far as shipping stuff between Canada and BBTS goes for, but I mean, Proto, you can get most of the DC Classics line.
Oh yeah, well now Big Bad Toy Store is getting better on shipping shipping prices like to Canada, because I know I recently pre-ordered that Crystal Rodimus and Optimus 2-pack there. I ordered 3 of them.
I'm disappointed in that.
Only 3, eh?
No, I'm disappointed in the 2-pack. Not really Rodimus. Rodimus is fine, but they had to use the deluxe version of Earth Mode Optimus. Give me a break.
What's wrong with the deluxe? It's a good toy.
I like the Voyager better, but that's just me.
Well, yeah, the Voyager's a good toy, but I think if it would have been the Voyager, then Daniel would be spending more money.
Well, yeah. But then again, you're buying 3, so you're spending more money anyways.
I'm buying 3, but that leaves me with 2 extra Optimuses. That's what's going to happen. Watch, because it's like, okay, you guys are going on eBay, or I'm bringing you to a convention to sell it.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's the same thing with any 2-pack that involves a Rodimus. It's
Right.
like, well, there's always going to be extra.
I'm assuming you managed to get on the Blackout boat early enough, Protoman?
I actually am waiting out on that. I know that a lot of people are scrambling right now to get Blackout because it's like, here's a toy that we might not get at all stateside, so here's might be our only chance. But part of me's like, it's one of those things where if I don't get him now, he's going to be retardedly expensive later. I guess you could say like the sweeps or like say Kiss Play Rodimus, like one of those things. Well,
Right.
any Kiss Play figure more or less. Now those originally went retailed for about $89, and now like they're easily $200 because no one picked up on that. I worry that it's going to be like that, but I get this feeling that because I'm going to BotCon, I'm going to TFCon, I get a feeling they're going to be there, and they won't be as expensive, or they'll probably be on par as if I bought them with shipping to my location.
Because I don't know if you saw the stuff, but like last week, like everybody managed to get some more in to put up pre-orders again. Like Automaton actually had pre-orders up briefly, and they managed.
Oh yeah,
to jump
everyone
on
was
that,
selling out with them.
I managed to jump on the Automaton pre-orders when they reopened them last week. So.
I think the one I want to get on more than anything that's selling out is I want to get that Unicron.
Yes, that's selling out, but by the same token, I'm one of those people that's like, that's a lot of money for a figure that I already have the mold of.
I guess, yeah. Well,
even though I like the paint job,
if you're someone who owns the Armada mold, I don't really see the incentive. I don't really see the incentive to run out. And another thing too that always bothers me, and I've seen this in recent trend. Has everyone who's ever colored a G1 homage Unicron watched the original 86 movie? Like, he doesn't have that orange. Every single, like, the Titanium toy, the Hard Heroes bust, and now this, they use this, I don't even know how to describe it, creamsicle orange, okay, that they use for Unicron. And if you watch the 86 movie, he doesn't have that orange. He has almost like a yellow.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say, the Armada Unicron toy is closer to that. It really is. Granted, it has all those purple applications and everything else that throws that off, but the yellow on it is a lot more accurate. And I don't know, it's weird. Because I know a guy on Unicron.com, he put a custom up a while back, we're talking 5 years ago, where he did his take on... He took the Armada Unicron and tried to make it into movie Unicron. And that was very accurate. He got the colors dead on, but he based it off of looking at stills from the 86 movie. Where this one, I look at it and I'm like, okay, it's gorgeous, it's got the face, they remolded the chest, da-da-da-da-da, but it's still not there yet. It's still not, like if you did a comparison side-by-side photo, which no one has done yet, you'll see the colors are not right.
Well, actually, they didn't remold the chest, they just painted it differently.
Oh, did they? I don't know.
Yeah, if you look, I've noticed that it's the same chest. They just painted it the same way that it is in the movie.
See that, like for me, I think that if they really want to do something like this, I feel they should probably go the whole 9 yards. Like, phase out the Minicon gimmick. Just really let's make a G1 Unicron toy. Let's just do this. I mean, he's a damn important character that he does. He deserves enough treatment to get a damn full-fledged remolded G1 toy.
Honestly,
considering that they engineer 17 Optimus Primes a year, you could get one Unicron that looks amazing.
So honestly, my biggest surprise though was, the Minicon I can kind of go with because in some of the original concept art they did have the plans for a moon. Some of the early stuff. But the biggest thing that surprised me was that where they didn't go the extra mile, and it's one of those why, was the LED eyes.
Yeah, that too.
That surprised me. I was like, really? You don't give them green eyes, and you give animated Ultra Magnus green eyes, but Unicron, no?
It's the same thing. I'm kind of surprised that they even left in the LEDs because I would have liked 2 consistent colored hands. I mean, a glowing Unicron hand wasn't synonymous with G1 Unicron. I mean, I think if they phased out that gimmick and maybe put it elsewhere, maybe put it in the maw, that would have been kind of cool. If they would have had it.
I don't think it's that feasible to do, but it would have been cool.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it probably wouldn't have been feasible because it's the hanging shells on the side. But I don't know. it's just I'm still like waiting for that perfect G1 Unicron toy because like it has to be done. The technology is there. I think it's just that we're not going to get it yet. We are, and we're all still waiting for whatever number TF 2010 mystery figure number 4 is. Although, do I really need to guess? But
for which one? For what? Sorry.
Well, because we had the 4 mysterious figures of 2010 for Transformers. Number 1.
Oh, right, the 4th one. Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Number 1 was Sleep Mode Optimus Prime. Number 2 was the Crystal Rodimus / Optimus 2-pack. Number 3 was the Unicron. Number 4, probably MPO 9 Rodimus, I believe we're at now.
That's like a no-brainer based off of...
You know what, it's a no-brainer, but the other half of me is like, wow, maybe they might not do it.
But we know the designers have mentioned hinted in the past that they want to do it.
You know what, I'm surprised they haven't done it so far at this
already,
point.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's more either they're doing it now because of timing, because hey, 2010 season 3's title, or like either that or probably I don't know, like maybe. See, I'm trying to think of like because they already did the Sleep Mode Optimus, and that's like that's like the dirtiest repaint ever. Because they just came hot off the heels off of the black repaint one.
Yes.
Like wow, like they wasted no time. Like not even like 3 months apart either.
I'm surprised they haven't done the evil Shattered Glass Optimus yet. Because the token that they seem to be grasping at straws for as many repaints as they can possibly think of.
Well, like that's why I'm surprised they didn't do the Megaplex blue application. Like they didn't repaint the Megatron anyway yet, but
I'm not that surprised at Megatron though, simply because the fact that
issues
that it's not a fun toy. Like I transformed mine again last week, and it's never been a fun toy to transform.
So
Starscream is fun to transform. Megatron is not.
I think it's more so because of its international issues. Because it's a toy on top of it that even though if they'll do a repaint with him, you still can't sell him successfully overseas from an import standpoint, and Hasbro has no use of that mold at all unless he's purple and orange.
Yes.
And even then he'll probably be like impossible to sell even with those two colors like lavish on it. So I don't know. It's a long story, but pretty much, I think, it'll probably be Rodimus, maybe not. I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't. I mean, I'd like it if it was, because I'm very curious what a Masterpiece Rodimus would look like and how they would go about it. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't, because there's a part of me that's like, I think they've done enough this year that maybe the engineering time wasn't feasible. Maybe we'll get it next year. Who knows?
Maybe. I mean, I'm kind of suspecting that they'll announce it this year, but it won't be out until next.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Like, maybe, you know what? Maybe we'll get a big reveal at BotCon.
Maybe. Yeah. Although it
because you have to realize there has to be something they're saving for us over there to give us,
yes, but I think that's going to be Transformers Prime actually being unveiled. Because they've said nothing about Transformers Prime yet.
God, God,
they're clearly holding back.
I did a panel at Anime North recently, and everyone was asking that. So, what do we know about Transformers Prime? And I was like, some voice actors, a picture of Bumblebee, and a logo.
Who did the Dead or Alive cinematics are animating it?
Yeah, that's the part that kind of. That's the part that kind of got me.
Well, maybe they will be lucky and they'll put Michaela in it.
Oh Christ! Shut up. I had to shoot you for that. The hell is wrong with you? Furman, you think if they do the Masterpiece Rodimus, do you think they would just enlarge the Classics mold?
No.
No,
I think because one big issue, and this is what I've addressed this before with the animated toy, was the engineering of the engine, the hot rod engine. I think that they would implicate what they've learned from the animated mold, like how to tuck away that engine that is in vehicle mode and then make it disappear for robot mode. I think what they're going to do is they're going to do a Rodimus Prime, a Rodimus Convoy, if you will, that is a mix of the animated engineering to make it look very sleek in robot mode, but using the smartness of the 6-inch titanium to make it transform with the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean with the trailer. I'm serious, because I think they're going to go about it that way.
I'm honestly kind of suspecting, though, that just going off some of the comments that I remember, I think around when Grimlock came out, when we were getting like designer interviews and such, like one of the designers said he wanted to engineer a hot rod that became Rodimus Convoy.
See, that would be like jumping into the whole like fans project, like protector idea. But like again, to what is, and if you ask me, I could give you a very clear-cut and stark answer. But what really is Rodimus Convoy to Hot Rod and vice versa, Rodimus Prime to Hot Rod and vice versa? And that's a change of color, which is the most predominant thing. Is they actually get a little darker in color scheme and magentas. Okay. And that's the first big issue. Number two is facially they're different. If you're talking cartoon standard, we're talking lines and face lines and age marks. If you're talking a manga standard and toy standard, then you're talking like, the crest is different. There's a lot of little
two heads.
Yeah, right away. So there's a difference there. Then again, you're talking size and bulk. The third thing the fourth thing you're talking about the spoiler. Rodimus' spoiler is different from Hot Rod's spoiler. Right. Hot Rod had a more wider spoiler. Rodimus's was large and in charge and practically like almost over his head in the back. You know?
Heck, I almost at this point. I mean, what I would love for Takara to do, although I can't see engineering is not this far, but it would the absolute best Hot Rod Rodimus thing would be is if you made if you had some sort of how on Primus you use the Omega Lock to transform them. Mm-hmm. Imagine using something like, say, for the final step where like you pop up the Rodimus head. Or swap the heads between Hot Rod and Rodimus, you use the Matrix chamber.
Well, yeah, how I could see
that would be icing on the cake, because he was always the type where without the Matrix, he's like, no, I'm powerless without the Matrix.
Well, how I could see that working, and that engineering actually existed since 1991 with Victory, was with Star Saber, when you put the Brain Master in his chest, which was the little figure, and then you closed the chest, the face, the Brain Master would become the face for the figure. Mm-hmm. Now, if they could engineer some way, and if anyone remembers how Rodimus Prime's chest opens up, it actually opens up downward. It actually opens up like the flames open up kind of like an oven, if you will, like that kind of doorway.
Mm-hmm.
And
you could do that easily.
So if you put in the Matrix and then you would close it and then it would activate some kind of like, flip feature where the face flips over a la Masterpiece Starscream.
Yes.
Sure, hey, something like that.
I was even thinking a head change, so.
Where the Matrix is that kind of key where if it's in there, it would activate the tab that would do the face flip. Yes. Or if the Matrix wasn't in there, it wouldn't instigate the face flip, so it would stay as young Rodimus.
So the evil thing would be to say you need to buy Masterpiece Prime in order to complete this.
Oh, that would be absolutely
because they put out enough Masterpiece Primes that there's enough Matrix.
There's enough Matrix exploding everywhere.
Yes.
Or Ultra Magnus if you really want to be evil. Get it from him. I got, you didn't get it from Optimus, Rodimus. You got it from Ultra Magnus.
Well, no, he got it from Optimus and then screwed it up so that Magnus couldn't use it.
Yeah. There you go. He glowed first.
Yeah. So then it was like, okay, I'm going with the first guy, and anyone else who tries, as long as their name is, they can open it as long as their name isn't Ultra Magnus and Galvatron.
You know what? I'm the biggest Rodimus fan on the planet, but I could write a book of speculation about the movie of how like this all went down.
Myself, I've always been convinced the only reason that Galvatron and Ultra Magnus couldn't get it open was that they didn't know about the finger holes.
Yeah, of course they did.
Well, that's the biggest joke for Ultra Magnus. It's the finger holes, Ultra Magnus. I mean, that's the biggest joke in history, according to.
Damn it, Robert Stack! It's the finger holes.
Now, don't speak ill.
Scourge can open the Matrix.
Yeah, if somehow because you know why? Because Scourge is like, screw this. I'm putting it in my chest. Let's see.
Yeah, he didn't open it. He just put it in his chest and became super deformed.
Yeah, he started to melt. He just it didn't work for him.
Oh,
but,
boy.
Like, I'm looking forward, if they do a Masterpiece Raw, it's going to hurt my wallet like crazy, because I'm going to buy like 2 or 3 of those.
Oh, right.
But at the same time, I even warned my girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, like if this thing happens, like get ready for like $700 to go missing from the old bank account. Like easy. And you know what? I won't even feel it, but it's just because I it's kind of like it was like one of those like break glass when it happens inevitabilities. It's like when it happens, break glass. Like the money's already waiting. Because I knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah.
And after that, though, it's all downhill from there. I mean, unless they do more Lucky Draw Rodimus molds, and I'm already
Lucky Draw Masterpiece Rodimus.
Oh my God! I hope don't.
They're going to do.
They're going to do
that. You know they're going to do.
Dare say that. I already have 3 Lucky Draw Rodimuses of 3 different molds, to like have to deal with, I have them too. I already have the Primus, the silver, and the chrome, the silver chrome and the gold chrome Energon Rodimuses or Superlink Rodimus. I don't want to have to deal with that. Tracking those down was a headache, let alone paying for them. Tracking them down was a headache. But yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're going to close out on this because we're approaching the, at least for this segment, the 50-minute mark.
All right.
Again, this has been the ToyCast 1-year anniversary episode. Our anniversary is June 10th, 2010 for the first year. I actually can't believe the show is gone. Well, minus the mini discussions and the Revenge of the Fallen talk way back when. We technically have over 60 episodes, but as far as 1 through 60, we've had 60 episodes in a year, and it's just amazing considering the original plot line of the show was once a month. Yeah, that didn't last too long.
And we barely even talked about specific toys. We just did toy talk in general.
Well, that's not. Yeah, but I mean, I wasn't going for specific toy stuff on the 1-year anniversary. I was just going for general, stuff. So.
Right.
But yeah, it's been a good year so far. As far as the show, I guess we haven't gotten a whole hell of a lot of iTunes reviews. We've gotten some of them. So for those of you who actually listen or not and are not on the show, start leaving us reviews, please. And I guess we will see you in August.
Hey, this is Sari, and you're listening to the Geekcast Radio Network of podcasts.
Thank you for joining us here on the 1-year anniversary of ToyCast. There are several ways to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com. Join the forums, PredaconEmpire.com/Nexus. Leave the show's feedback in iTunes. Please do this. Follow us on Twitter. TFToycast and TFG1Mike are mine. You can follow Michael Wilson at PecanCourtMichael. Pia is at Pia, Peaugh. General Technos is at General Techno, and for the goddamn Proto-Man, it's at ProtoManX. Become a fan on Facebook, search Geekcast Radio Network. The voicemail line is still dead at this time. We hope you enjoyed this episode of ToyCast, and wish you'll join us next time. For now, I am TFG1Mike, and I'd just like to say thanks to everybody who has supported us over the past year. Hope you continue to support us. We will have more episodes coming up in August. We're going to take a little bit of a hiatus for the summer. Create some crazy inventions. I don't know, rocket to Mars, or finding Frankenstein's brain, or giving a monkey a shower, or something like that. But we're going to take some summer vacation for you guys. And we'll be back in August with new episodes. So we hope you enjoyed this, and we hope you're enjoying what we're doing here at the Geekcast Radio Network, as well as ToyCast, and thank you for supporting us for the first year. TFG1Mike out!
Supernatural. Taken has Brave Star. Maybe it was a Manglore.
It's Castle Grayskull.
Hey kids, it's story time with Proto-Man. In this 1-year anniversary of ToyCast, we had already talked about toys, switching toys, boxes, and stuff, but Proto-Man has a story about that, so take it away, Proto-Man.
Well, the story I want to talk about is more, not so much about switching toys, but hiding toys. And I remember this was probably about 2 or 3 years ago when Titaniums was still on shelves, the 6-inch ones. And this was when there was a sighting here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, where the Scourge / Cheetor 6-inch titanium wave has come out, and there were sightings all over in Montreal, and I went with my girlfriend looking for them. And when I got there in Zellers, there was this one guy, and he was walking around in the aisles, and he had both Scourge and Cheetor in his arms, and it was the last ones. I was like, oh my god, he's got the last ones. And me and my girlfriend were just standing there, and we were just looking around the aisles, and like he was just lingering around, and he with these two figures in his arms, and then he went to the other aisle. And so he disappeared, and then he came back, and they were both gone. They weren't in his arms anymore, and he left. And you're like, what the hell just happened, you know? And we went into the other aisle, and the other aisle pretty much consisted of, you know, Barbie and Camp Rock and whatever was popular at the time. And we were like, what happened to the figures? He probably hid them somewhere. So we were digging through everything, and then we noticed under like a bunch of plushies and Camp Rock dolls, lo and behold, there was the Scourge and the Cheetor. Now, I really wanted these figures, but I'm also an asshole. So on top of wanting those figures, I wanted to kind of put a cherry on the cake for my victory. So on top of taking the figures, I asked my girlfriend to get out her little notepad with her Post-it, and I wrote a little note for this guy for when he comes back for those two figures. And I wrote on the note, and I know I'm mean, but I wrote on the note, "This place is my turf, buddy. Enjoy your never-ending virginity." And I know I'm horrible, and whoever that guy is, I apologize for my horribleness. Even my girlfriend later on noted how horribly mean that was. In French, she's like, "Oh, tu méchant," which means like, you're very mean, you know? But, you know, it was just one of those things where it's just like, you know, I don't know. I pride myself as being quite the Transformer collector, and sometimes I let it get to me where I can't let anyone else get the figure if it's in my sight, you know? And, I mean, I wouldn't push over a little child over it, but when it's like some guy that's in his mid 20s or whatever, you know, Proto Man gets first dibs, buddy. You know? I don't know. I don't want to sound like a cocky SOB, but it was just one of those moments that it just the adrenaline was rushing. And it, you know, to make a long story short, that titanium Cheetor was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's one of the better titanium toys.
So this has been Story Time with Proto Man. Before we go, would you like to pimp out TFCon?
Oh, sure. TFCon is happening. Well, when is this going to be posted?
June 10th.
Episode. June 10th? Oh, wow. Okay, so that's actually very close. Well, TFCon is going to be pretty much a month and a handful of days from that point when you're reading this. It's going to be happening on the 16th, 17th, and 18th of July. The Friday is an awesome social day where you're forced to interact with other TFCon fans and break the ice, which will then be a chain reaction to all the fun that will happen the other 2 days afterwards. We have guests, we have panels, we have exclusives, we have customization class, we have a deal room with over 85 deal room tables of Transformer toys. It's in Canadian dollars, so if you Americans cross the border, make sure to bring your passport, but if you cross the border, you're paying great money for cheap G1 Transformers, and hey, that's always good to hear. You know, we have great prices. So far we've announced David Kay as one of our guests, along with Mark Ryan, the legendary Bumblebee from the animated movie, the video game. He was also Hoist in the PSP Transformer movie game. He was Jetfire in Revenge of the Fallen. We're going to have the Camaro, hopefully, is going to be coming down soon, although that's still up in the air. There, we have our exclusive Nightbird, which is a remold of the legendary RC Impossible Toys toy. It's going to have extras in it. It's going to have a comic book to flesh out the character more and why she has this new body, drawn by the IDW staff. We have tons and tons of stuff. Like, I can't even fill it all in this little blurb. But it's just come on down. If you want more information, go to tfcon.ca. A lot of Americans are coming down. Derek Wyatt comes down for free. We don't pay Derek Wyatt to come. He comes down under his own fruition. That's how great the convention is. Derek Wyatt isn't going to BotCon this year, but he's going to TFCon. So that says something. He's not willing to fly within his own country to go to BotCon, but he's willing to fly to Canada to come to TFCon because he had such a great time.
You know who you guys need to get?
Who do we need to get?
Stan Bush.
You know what? We're going to see Stan Bush at BotCon when I go. I'm going to talk to him. We'll try to get him a live. Well, you know what? We'll tell him we'll buy him soup, and he'll give us a live screening or something. I don't know. We'll buy you a warm meal, Stan. We know times are tough. No, I love Stan Bush. I can't.
No, Stan's awesome. I've talked to the guy multiple times, but that's a whole other topic. So yeah, TFCon, July 16th to the 18th, 2010. Nightbird, David K, Mark Ryan, probably more that they're not willing to tell us yet.
More, yeah, like we're going to announce more. BotCon, we're going to have 2 tables there with tons of stuff that we're going to be revealing. We have a good relationship with Brian Savage, and so he lets us pimp as much stuff as possible within legal limits. But yeah, be sure to check it out, tfcon.ca, and if you want to, if you're having problems finding hotel room buddies or anything, go to cybertron.ca, and we have a message board where you could find roommates or whatever if you want to make your trip as cheap as possible.
Very cool, and we will see you in August.
I love you.
Shut up, bitch, I'm not done.
Ooh. Technical difficulties. Let's move on, shall we?